ES6 features. So we're gonna look at ES6 function with default parameters. So let's look at that. And this one with default parameters, let's look at that real quick. So let's say we have a function and we say the name of the function is say. We can have a default parameter for this function. So if we have a function, then we can assign a default parameter called world. So this is how it's gonna play out. So inside our return, we already have a default parameter which is world inside. So we need to use the backtick, just like what we did for the JavaScript literal. Then we will call hello, and this hello can call the default parameter using the literal, just like the $ we got there, and then we call the name here inside our JavaScript. So it's apparently we setting some value for the name inside the parameters here, and then we can decide to display this, and it's gonna display hello world to us. So let's check that one out. So dot right, and we say we calling the function, which is this function, but it has a default word in there. So if I call this on the screen, we see hello world. This is only hello here, but because of the ES6 function, which we can assign this parameter to the default name to it, then it's going to show hello world on the screen. Okay, so we can still pass in another value instead of the world, but we can call the function and then still pass in another value, and it's gonna override what is already here. So this is just for the default, but we can still override it. So if I write John here, then the second one will display hello John. So we've overwritten the default parameter in there. So let's say we want to look at ES6 arrow functions here. So let's check out the arrow functions. So for arrow functions, it's very easy. It's just like declaring a var, and then we have the variable assigned to a function. We've used this in some of our previous examples, but I'm going in depth for you to know this is specifically an ES6 function which came out 2015. Let's look at the return, and then we can return a plus what? A plus b. Okay, then I terminate that, and we can call this here, which has document.write, then we call the variable sum, and then sum we pass in the values, which is a and b. So let's pass in something like 3 and then 3 and then 4. Okay. So we should have something print out here, which is 7. So 3 and 4 will be 7. Let me have a break for this one from here. So inside here I will have a break here, break br break. Then I can have this same break here. We're gonna have another example, so we want to have that break there. Let me see. Okay, so we got 7 there. Oh, break, we have double. Okay, so now let's check another arrow function, another type of arrow function. Here we can simply have a var and have a sum, and then the sum will be equal to, we're gonna really shorten this by just doing a b, and then we'll say ab equal to the arrow function, equal to the arrow function, and we can do a plus b, which is technically the same as what we have here. So this is a one line for this function in ES6, and it's pretty simple and cool, right? Yeah, so let me display this, and then it's gonna give us the same value. So 7 times 7, 7 plus 7. Then I can do 9 here, and then it's gonna give us another value. So technically the same function, but in a more simpler way on just one single line. Okay, we can still look at more of a single parameter and single statement arrow functions variation. Let's add another one here. Let's look at the variation under this one. So let's say we have a variable called greet, and you assign it to a name, and then we have arrow function here, and then we can have document. So here what we are doing is we are having single parameter and single statement, so everything on one line, a function and a statement on one line. That is pretty cool. So document dot write then we'll have our hi here. Let's concatenate this hi name, name, and then we'll have okay. So this is just strings. So now we need to call the function a greet. So this is how we're gonna call it, greet. So we call the function, and then for the function we can decide to pass in a name for this, and the name will be like how we display parameters. We pass it into parameters. It's vertically technically the same. So if I pass in John here, then this is gonna print on the screen John for us. So you can see hi John with the exclamation I have here. Okay, so there was no break for this one. Let me break this real quick so we could see the difference. So we say hi John. Okay, so this is how we can demonstrate the single parameter and a single statement. So this is cool. So let me add single parameter and a single statement function. Okay, let's look at another example where we have multiple arguments and a single statement. It's also the same ES6 arrow function example. So multiple parameters. Here we had single parameter that just passing here. Here the next one we're gonna have multiple parameters. So for example, if we want to multiply a number, say we say, let's say multiply, and then we want to use multiple parameters, so we'll have 2 parameters in there. So let's use any alphabet, let's use x and y, so 2 parameters. Then the arrow function will say x times y. So we can simply do a document dot write, then we'll have a function name, which is technically variable, and then we can execute this, and this should give us 3 times 9, which is 27. Okay, so let me have a break here after this one and after this one too, since I'm gonna add some more. So 27 there. So this is multiple parameter and single statement. It's really cool. What if we want to have single parameter and then multiple statements? Okay, so single parameter, single parameter, and then multiple statements. So we have multiple statements. Okay, so for single parameter and multiple statement, we can have a variable test, and test is equal to age, and then we have the arrow function where we have our curly bracket in here. So let's say we have simple logic in here. Oh no, let me clean this. Simple logic in here, and we're gonna say probably age is greater than 18. Age is greater than 18, then we're gonna have simple document.print in here. So document.print adult. Okay, then we'll have else, we have else here, person is a teen or teenager. Okay, so now we can test this function by calling the function name, which is call the function here. The function name is technically test, and then we can pass in a parameter of age. So age to test the logic we have in there. So I passed in 12, then we see what happens. So 12, we're gonna have teenager on the screen. If I pass in 19, we should see adult on the screen. Okay, so this is a single parameter, so this is technically the parameter, and then we have multiple statements. So using an if inside a function with using the arrow symbol. So we have age is greater than 8, document or tried adult, and then else. So this is also really cool implementation. Okay, what if we want to have multiple parameters and then multiple statements? Okay, so we're gonna have multiple parameters and multiple statements. So for this, let's say we have a variable called divide, and we assign x, y, arrow function. If let's say if y is not equal to 0, y is not equal to 0, then let's return x divided by y. Okay, then now we can simply do document.print for this function here. So document.print That's right. Function is divide. Okay. So we have two values we are dividing on the screen, and that will be 0.333. If I add the break to it, oh, let me add a break here. Okay, then we have 0.333. So this is multiple parameters and multiple statements. Okay, what we have another one we can demonstrate here, which is that one. It's an example for, let me terminate this. This one is an example for no parameters and single statement. So no parameters, single statement. Let's say we have a variable hello, and then we have this here. We have this here, and we can say document dot write, and we have hello in here. Oh wow, so let's say hello, calling the function, so we get a hello world of that function here, and then we print it out and we say hello world. So this is the different variation of arrow function and in the ES6, and it's really cool because it gives you the flexibility to be able to have so many logic in a simple manner using functions, especially using the function with the arrow symbol.